Okay, we're going to talk about the cancer that I have. Poorly differentiated carcinoma, metastatic carcinoma, which those two are related to my esophageal cancer. The last one is the clear cell renal cell carcinoma, grade 1, and that is my kidney cancer. Now, what we're going to do is talk about the mean baddie first, which is the esophageal. Esophageal cancer causes are not known, but there are certain things you should know about it. There are increased risks for people over 65 years old. I am 51, so not really there. Next one is being male, most definitely. The one right below it is using tobacco products, all of them. Cigars, cigarettes, doesn't matter, and e-cigarettes. Yes, I was a smoker, past tense. I quit roughly about 14 years ago. Eating a diet that is low in fruits and vegetables, okay. Adjust that camera a little bit. I could clearly say it. I don't probably eat as much fruits and vegetables as I should. That is on me. Being overweight or obese, I've had a problem with weight all my life. I do not now have a problem on keeping my weight because of the cancer. Having a damaged esophagus due to exposures to poisons or toxins. I do not know that many people who've not been exposed to any forms of poisons or toxins. I have. I worked out in the oil field making my way through college. Sometimes I forget to put on a respirator while working on particular resins or other things like that. That's on me. Having a history of other types of cancers. Me personally, no. Family, yes. And having conditions that damage or irritate the esophagus. One of the big ones of those is gout or acid reflux. And yes, I had acid reflux. Now we go to the clear cell renal excuse my pronunciation, not good with these, carcinoma, grade 1. It's a renal mass in my left kidney. How's it diagnosed? Well, basically, there are certain telltale signs. You could have blood in your urine. That's the most common one. A pain, like someone's been beating on your kidney. I should have recognized that one. Weight loss, most definitely. A fever, haven't really had that much of a fever. And a lump on the side, I haven't really had that. Other ways to diagnose is through imaging, which I had a CT scan with contrast, which is what picked up that particular renal mass. And then they did perform a biopsy, which was the second biopsy I had. The first one, of course, was the first attempt through an EGD, where they take a scope down my throat and basically take tissues off of the mass that was in the lower third of my esophagus. And of course that one came up that the sample was not good enough. Now, on that particular biopsy, I don't think they really put me under that well. And trying to adjust some things here. And for this recording, so basically I got another biopsy through an EGD later on, after I had my first biopsy from the kidney. And on the kidney, they had me slightly sedated, but not sedated where I couldn't hear what they were doing. So basically, I could hear them clipping out the biopsies, and I think they tried for 5 and got 4 good ones. But I didn't feel it, which is a good thing. Then they did a secondary EGD, and they actually got into my stomach and could actually check my stomach to see if the esophageal cancer had gone into the stomach, or if it was clear. That was clear. And we're waiting for that second biopsy from the esophageal to see if it would basically come up similar to the esophageal, which was the mastitis carcinoma, which was, how can I say this? They were checking to see if the kidney matched my esophageal, but that particular cancer is only for kidney. So they went ahead and biopsied my liver. And that's when they found out the mastitis carcinoma, which is similar to the differentiated carcinoma, which is for my esophageal. So they're thinking that the esophageal caused the liver and so forth. Now, the colors on the background of the slides are the 2 colors for the 2 different cancers. The blue, or hairy pinkle blue, is for esophageal, and the orange is for the kidney cancer. I am not an expert on any of this stuff. I am learning this stuff as I'm going along. Tomorrow, I have what is called my Chemo Education. And certain things that I've learned about chemo is that nobody's chemo is the same. It is specifically designed for that person and the cancer that they have. Even if 2 people have the same cancers, their chemos could be extremely different. There is also something called focused therapy, which they focus certain chemos which are known to be very good at attacking certain types of cancers. They will focus more of that chemo than others. Don't get me wrong, chemo kills every good, quick growing cell in your body. No doubt about it. It is a poison that you are putting in your body to kill another poison, per se. So, I'm constantly trying to force myself to eat more, or to feed more, because I'm on a 2 feeding system, to get my calories up, so I'm able to withstand my chemo, and also during my chemo. I do not want to be a person that dies of malnutrition because I wasn't able to get nutrition enough to fight my cancer. I'm also trying to keep a very positive attitude about this. It's the only way to do it. Now, I know these aren't exciting. I know these videos aren't just all pizzazz and everything. I am not Linus Tech Tips. I am not the Beast. I am not like all the others. I am a simple IT guy who loves computers, loves his job, and got diagnosed with cancer. I really like being on the other side of this video cameraing other people. But I'm doing these videos for myself, and hopefully I can educate others about other types of cancers and what it's like to go through chemotherapy. Because it's not fun. And most people don't know what you're getting into when they say, hey, by the way, you have cancer. You know? And a lot of people look at it as, oh geez, that's a death sentence. I'm going to die. Not necessarily. I know many people who have esophageal cancer that are survivors. I know people that have had other cancers that are survivors. And what I'm doing here is saying, hey, you need to educate yourself. You need to understand what it's going to take to make you to survive the treatment. Another thing is medical bills. If you're not rich, you got to find a way to help fund for it. Me, I'm doing a GoFundMe. And if you want to support my GoFundMe, thanks a lot. There are several people that have already done that, and I'm not forcing you to donate. This is completely voluntary. And that link for my GoFundMe will be in the bottom of this video in the comments. Certain things I do want to do is I want to thank everybody who has donated, and I want to, there is Daniel Collins, there is Pete and Alyssa, there is Dayton Reese, Anna Luna, Jarrett, Moreau, Kid Marine, Nancy, Blake Lasser, $1,000. Thanks a lot for that. That's going to go a long way. Matthew, Gobe, Leah Lopez, and Gino, love y'all to death. Thanks. Brian and Jessica Wilkins, John Barnes, Robert Moya. Man, if you need some good comic books here in Lubbock, go see Robert, Star Comics. Shanae, Josh Wilson, he puts on some great anime conferences. OkiCon coming up in July. He did a great donation. I had an anonymous one. Thank you. You do not have to tell you who it is. Jeremy Hogue, David Laster, another anonymous, Elena Ember, $20. Hey, that's great. Bridget, Jennifer Ettrich, hey, Stormcrow, a gaming shop here in town. Go support them. They support everybody else. Anthony, Michael Diaz, Jacob Bennett, Reagan Steen, another anonymous, Chris Gersbach, another anonymous, Elena Dene, thank you Dene, Linda Kennedy, and I have two Linda Kennedys here. I have one Linda Kennedy, which is, she has a PhD in art education. I help her build a wonderful computer. So, Brian Pohl, thank you. Mark Domansky, Ryan Bird, Thomas, co-worker, great guy, anonymous, Daniel Holchin, Joe Winford, if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry, Linda Kennedy again, and I do believe this is the Linda Kennedy in Amarillo, part of my Star Wars family, Melissa Arnold, James Alexander, Dayton Perring, Hey, BA IT person, the head, Daniel Collins, James Clare, Natasha Mitchell, and Erica Williams. God, all y'all support. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will be doing these YouTube videos as a part not only to let you know, give you some education, what's going on. I will also try to do a couple of live sittings while I'm on chemo, because they say that your voice and mannerisms change while you're on chemo. It's kind of like a drunk feeling because it does dehydrate you. So that's coming up hopefully this week. We will see. Depends on how I feel during the chemo sessions, because if I feel really nauseous, I'm not going to get on camera and puke my guts out. I refuse to do that. There's a point. It is part of chemo, but it can cause you nausea, and it will probably be on the Thursday morning of this week. I might do a live video. I'm still, excuse me, debating on the live video or everything else. Another thing is I'm going to talk about the procedures that I've gone through to get to this point. I have a peg tube. I have a feeding tube. So those who have seen Stargate SG-1, yeah, I have my rubber gold coming out of my stomach. It's the best way I could point it, but it's where I can get nutrients in me and get stuff going. I don't know if y'all would want to see that or see how that looks on my chest. For those who have not experienced a feeding tube, it's a little bit different. There's two methods of getting food into you. And I think I talked about that at my hospital. One is a machine that pumps it in a little bit at a time. The other method is a gravity feed, where you basically pour it into the tube and let it drain into your stomach. That one goes a little bit quicker, and the difference between them is that the pump is more like you eating a hamburger constantly, bite after bite. The gravity feed is that you take that whole hamburger and you try to shove it down into your stomach as quickly as you possibly can. So it can make you feel a little bit nauseous at first, and every once in a while when I stop to talk, just like now, is it gives you a burping syndrome until all that food has been digested, which it takes a little bit longer when you do it that way. So that is one procedure. Another procedure is what is called the chemo port, which most people would say that it would be up here. But the surgeon that actually put in mine likes to put it in the arm, and let me make sure I got my camera view here so I can most definitely see. So in this arm, it's right there. You can see the scars from the surgery, but it's right there. And it's on the arm. She likes putting it in the arm instead of the shoulder, because then it doesn't get in the way of seat belts and stuff like that. Okay. It's a little bit different, always on that arm. So those were the two procedures, and I went through both of those in one day. First, I had the chemo port put in, got out of that surgery, got awake about noon, kind of got recovered from that one, and then I went into my EGD for the third biopsy, because they wanted a more definite sample to do targeted chemo. So, now that you have all that story, I will try to do stuff. Now, when I do the live feed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Twitch it. Yeah, you heard me right. I have a Twitch channel. It's Wolf and Shell. Usually I do arts and crafts on it. But I'm going to be live shooting on Twitch. I don't know if I can also do live on YouTube, but it will be a recording that I will put up later. On my Twitch, you can find me. And, you know, if you want to view it, like I said, I'm not doing this because I'm trying to make money off of YouTube. I'm doing this for myself, for the posterity of the process, hopefully to teach other people other cancers. Everybody knows about breast cancer. They know about lung cancer, and they know about, you know, chin and throat cancer. They know about a lot of other cancers. There are so many others out there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to dim the light on the other cancers. I'm trying to shine a bigger light on all of them. If you have cancer, it's a rough process. You're going to get chemo, you're going to get radiation, you're going to get, you know, you could even get nuclear. I have a friend that just went through nuclear treatments, and it nearly killed her. My co-worker's wife is basically the one. And, you know, now she's waiting to get in to get her heart fixed because of the nuclear treatment. So, what this is about is the education of people with cancer and the struggles they go through. My struggle is nowhere near the worst struggle there could possibly be. There are other people that go through worse. The worst thing I could possibly have, I could lose a kidney. I got another one. Good friend of mine in the 501st. She makes the imperial hats. She's the mad seamstress, Nikki. She had to have both of her breasts removed for breast cancer. And she went through a hell of a time too. She went through chemo. She went through all that. So, I just want to inform people that, you know, this affects everybody with cancer, with all types of cancer. And, you know, really, I believe that the medical industry is getting better about fighting cancer, but the cost is still high. I'm going to have medical costs that I don't know about yet. I've yet to receive my UMC bill. I do not know what my insurance is going to cover. I spent a month in the hospital. A month. Which actually made me very weak because I was malnutrition when I went in. And it still tires me to do menial tasks around the house. And with the chemo coming, I think it's going to affect me worse and worse, but I have a beautiful job. They're going to let me work at home when I'm feeling okay. I got to contact my doctor about my FMLA so I can protect my job. But this is about the end of the video. I hope you learned something. Again, thanks for all those who went to my GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is Help Charles Fight Cancer. It will show me in my Jedi robes, and it will also show me in other things. Those who do not know me well or starting this video, I belong to the Rebel Legion in the 501st. I dress up in costumes to help raise money for other charities. And I also go to children's hospitals and visit the kids. With me getting cancer, I now understand what the kids go through even so much more. So, if you know of a cancer event that needs help raising money, contact the 501st, especially if it is dealing with children, because we will be there in force if we can. It's what we do. It's what we strive to do, because those kids are our future. And a kid with cancer is a shame. So, I'm just going to end it there. Be generous, be kind to one another, and have a wonderful day. I will see you at my next video.